Hello, my name is Ruth Slagle. I'm the instruction librarian here at Jackson State, and today we're going to talk about lifespan psychology and your virtual child paper. So, starting out, you can come to our website and find my information. So, we're going to go to About the Library, Library Staff, and here I am. My email is rslagle@jscc.edu. Now, for any of this, if it confuses you at all, you can always you can always make an appointment with me. Just email me and we can set up a time, or you can come up here to the top and make an appointment, give your information, and you say you want to do a virtual appointment, Ruth Slagle. So also, one other thing, in your class, you can come to the discussion and you can post any questions you have in here about your paper, anything you want to do. About your paper, how to cite articles, finding an article journal, a journal article, suggestions, anything relating to your research. And then I also have this phone number, 731-227-2790, and that you can call or text me with your same questions. So there are multiple ways that you can get a hold of me. You can also email me and eLearn as well. Okay, so we're going to get started and come to your... Oh, one other thing. So here's your APA information. So you can come through your eLearn class and see APA information. This is actually the 7th edition, but you can still access the APA 6th edition, and you need to double check with your professor to see which edition you're using. And they give you a format, style, and all the information is here for you. Okay, so you have to have at least 3 references from journals that you have found in the Jackson State databases. You can come to the virtual child LibGuide we've created here at the library, and you can connect to various databases. At any point, if you need to interlibrary loan a book or an article, you can contact Vanessa at, this is her email here, and yeah. Okay, so I'm actually going to come through we're going to go into psych articles. Also, let me just show you, there are other ways you can access that database through the library page. So there's a couple different ways. You could come and do Academic Search Elite, but you can come and choose your databases, and you can take off Academic Search Elite and put on APA psych articles, and you can also search multiple databases at the same time and collections. So we'll do ebook, clinical collection, we'll do social sciences full text, we'll do ebook, academic collection, and we'll do ebook collection and then education full text. And then we tell it okay, and it knows we're going to search all of these databases together. The last way you can access there are other ways, but I'm just going to show you this one other way. You can come to find resources and do journal articles, and then under social sciences, SARC articles is here. Okay, so let's say you are we're going to take adolescence. So let's say for this part of your paper, you're researching on your adolescent, what your child is going to encounter as an adolescent. So let's do adolescence. And the great advantage, before we go into that, the great advantage you all have for psychology is there's very specific terms that are identified with age groups, or there's like a set vocabulary that is used in psychology. which can be really helpful when you're doing research because you don't have to like go back and forth and like figure out what the terminology is like in some other fields. But yeah, so we're going to copy that and we're going to take it over here, and we're actually going to come to advanced search and we're going to paste it in, and we're just going to take out adolescence because it's going to know it's adolescence. You could come and say I want teenagers or teens or youth, or you can do like adolescence or adolescence, development stage, depression, different types of things that might go with adolescent period. But for now, we're just going to do this option, adolescence or adolescence. And we're going to do grief, if I could actually spell. Okay, so grief, but we're also going to add in this or loss or bereavement or mourning because they're all kind of the same. They all mean the same thing. And we're going to press search. So as you see, they have highlighted out adolescence. That was a subject term. And they're highlighting out these other words we put in here. Loss is here, but it doesn't have to do with grief. They're saying adolescent behavior. So this isn't quite what we wanted to see. So we're going to let's do grief, but we're also going to add in here death. So as you can see, grief is highlighted, and the subject terms and subjects are interchangeable terms. For instance, here's more of what we're talking about. So we're looking at how does grief affect adolescence. And so they include death and dying as a subject term. So we can go up here and we're going to adjust this one into add death and dying. And as you can see, like the bonus of having the advanced search is you're able to search 3 different terms together as one kind of idea. So this is interesting. So they're looking at, there are 2 types. This is how grief affects a child, an adolescent, a teen. And they're also pulling stuff of the long terms of effect of death of a child to a parent. This is a book review, so helping bereaved children. Bereaved is another word you could use besides grief. But then again, in the subject term, like bereaved might come up in the title of an article, but in the subjects, they're going to be using grief. Okay, so depending on like what grief you're having in your virtual child, so it could be if it's a suicide, here is how adolescents deal with suicide. Here is one on a death of a parent. This one's interesting. Like this one's relating to a car crash, different type of accidents. Again, how a parent deals with death. Visiting the paternal grave in psychotherapy. Here they're linking it to schizophrenia. So there's just these are just several. And so you'll need to like go through and examine, figure out which ones you want. So one thing I wanted to show y'all, let's go ahead and do this one. So here is an abstract. For the large majority of psychology articles, they're always going to do an abstract. So then you can be able to read and decide, is it something you really want? Will it actually answer your questions? It has the age groups it's going to be in. It will give you who sponsored it, what method they used, because you all are doing how psychology reviews studies are a little bit different than other fields. They do the quantitative, and they'll do tables and figures, and the thing in psychology is you're always having like graphs and the stats to support whatever your claims are. You're mostly doing studies. Excuse me. And then up here is all your source information. Like that's everything you need when you go and cite this article if you decided to want to use it. And then you have all your authors. Actually, I'm going to go. So we're going to go real quick. The reference list in periodicals. Oh, electronic resources or sources. So the DOI is a digital object identifier, and that is down here, right here. So you include that in your citation wall, and that is done if you're doing it from a. So they really break it out into like what types, how you cite based on where your source is coming from, where you found it. So this is an article in a database, so you'd cite it this way. So there's lots of all the different electronic resources that you are going to be encountering in writing your paper. Okay. So over here, you have the ability to adjust when your article was printed or published. You also have the ability to say you want only peer reviewed. Again, another bonus in the psychology field is most of the articles that are published in psychology are going to be peer reviewed. So we can come over here and we can adjust our publication date. Like say we just want what's been published in the last 20 years on this subject. And we narrowed our results to 7. But we can undo our limiter over here by just Xing out. And we can also adjust it based on language. You can also come in here and like adjust it based on, you know, if you're not really doing, if you're doing, like say your virtual child has a sibling that is actually in the childhood age, you can come and adjust it as that. You're looking for adolescence and childhood. If you want to change it for gender, the different methodology you're using, but exit out and adjust how it's searching. If you want to do the subject, you know, say it's going to be a family member. Usually you want to use the side if there's like a lot of results where this one was only 21, so you don't really need to use it as much. But if there's like more than 50, then you might want to use the side tabs to help narrow your search or just to kind of like pinpoint it more. So we're actually going to come into like, so this one was where we chose all those different collections or databases we wanted to look at the same time. So we're going to come over and bring our search terms. Also, over here, these are booleans. So they are changing you can change them to or not. So like adolescence and adolescence are actually they're basically the same term. So we're telling it or these two terms. And we're telling them and this term and this term. And so that it's searching, or it's trying to search all of those terms together as like, you know, at least most of it will be mentioned in the search terms or in the title of the article. Okay, so here's that handbook, or that book we were, there was a review of it here. There we go. Now this is the second edition, and this one is a review of never mind, it's a different book. Never mind. So since we're searching ebooks, like, so we could come in here and you can expand out and you can tell it like we only want to search these specific things. So we want to search academic journals, ebooks. That's all. And so you can update that and it will search just those. And then you can come over here again and you can adjust the publication date. So say we want to make sure it doesn't search past 2000. And so we have narrowed our search again to and then we get 13. And you can also come and say like, you know, you just want to see certain results from certain databases. Another really cool thing in EBSCO especially is that you can sign in and create folders. So you can come in and sign in at the top. You just put in your information, like whatever email you want to, username and password, that's yours. And I can come in. Well, actually, you don't even have to come into the journal. you can do it over here and add it to your folder. And you can, I made one on Arabian Nights, but you can say which folder you want to add it to. Go to your folders, and you can make a folder specifically for lifespan psychology. We can do this real quick so I can show y'all. So we're going to do lifespan psychology, lifespan. I'm going to put lifespan paper. And that's just going to be under my custom, and there I have a lifespan paper folder, and I can put all of my resources that are related to my lifespan paper in that folder, just to kind of help you guys stay organized a little bit. And it will, for each folder you have, is going to divide it out based on if it's an article or an ebook or an audiobook or whatever. So I do really encourage y'all to get started early on your papers. Looking for your resources, and you can start already looking for your resources. Start thinking about, maybe what, just start, experiment. You've already created certain stages in your virtual child, so you can go ahead and start looking for resources for those stages. I would say, to make sure you get all 3 of your resources that you need, you could have a journal for each section from, childhood, or your 3 sections, the 3 stages of your child. So infancy to toddler, childhood, and adolescence. And there you already have your 3 resources besides your book. And by all means, you can have more than that. So y'all could also look up. So I found this researching with another student on the role of sleep and dreaming in Our Emotional Lives, which is the book. So Our 24-Hour Mind. And this book has different chapters on sleepwalking and the importance of sleep and just different things. And then also, I found another book. Well, okay, so I found this book by searching sleeping and dreaming, and I did sleep and in all caps. And then there's this book, and then there was another book I found that was also focusing on the adolescents. So adolescent sleep patterns. So you could click on that and click on Jackson State, and then any of these would be good because they're all any of these chapters. I'm just gonna click on one. Okay, so study of work, scheduling tells about the adolescent sleep. Definitely did some research in different things, studying people, how they slept, where, how restful was their sleeping. So any of this can also affect your adolescent. How is their sleep? Are they having nightmares? Why are they having nightmares? Is that affecting them as a person? A lot of things you'll find, especially in the sleep line, is we are subconsciously thinking of things even when we're not awake, but we're asleep, so we're thinking about it in the subconscious. There is one more book that I also found. Oh yeah, so it's Why We Dream. This is a physical book. You'd have to come to the library and get it. But anyways, just another angle for you to pull for your paper. Keep in mind, so these books are definitely researched, but some of these articles in this section aren't scholarly or peer-reviewed. So keep in mind wanting to find those. So you can come and over here, and you can select what content type you like, to help yourself filter out the ones you really don't want or that aren't going to be helpful to you. So you can do books and ebooks, chapters, journal articles, and then you just apply. And so then it's applying those 3, and you're able to know that anything you kind of click on usually will be more of the scholarly standpoint that you can use for your paper. So that is my video. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. There are multiple ways to get a hold of me. Once again, I will show you from, just real quick in our discussion, you can come to the forum, ask me a question, or send me use my phone number, or shoot me a text in eLearn, or a text or an email. Shoot me an email in eLearn, or email through my regular email. Have a great night, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks. Bye.